All the things.
Perfect intro. Chai Cortez. Yes, Chai Cortez, former University of Oregon standout defensive back, made her pro debut with the San Diego Waves a week ago from yesterday. And it was amazing to see. Unfortunately, I did not get to watch the game in full. I only got to watch the highlights, and it snuck up so quickly I wasn't able to fly out there. But man, go back and look at my podcasts or vlogcasts or whatever we're calling them, because I don't know. And yeah. So this is Kim, Ramblings with Kim. Yes, I'm going to talk about chai. I'm going to talk just a little bit about the post office in Aspen. I'm going to talk about Paris, which has taken up a lot of my time. The Olympics coming up quicker than than anyone has ever expected. And yeah, why I've been away from the vlogcasting world for so long. But chai, yes, chai. She's had my heart from day one. She played basically the same position that I played. And and she seemed to play it in a similar way that I played it. Although I was a little Energizer Bunny who would run any circles around anyone, she picked that up last year. And as I have told people, she really upped her game the last year at the when she played for Oregon. And I happened to come across a piece in the Maui News where she is talking about where her NWSL journey has taken her. I have been trying to get, yes, still trying to get a team in Colorado Springs. I have a feeling it's going to go to Denver. Right now, I don't care. Let's get a team here. Yes, I would have liked to have had some say in it. I'm willing to partner with anyone that's going to go, wants to bring a team to Denver. Maybe you won't have the problems that we seem to have in Colorado Springs. So there we go. Anyways, she talks about not being able to wrap her head around being in the pros. And I can only imagine. I mean, I know somewhat how she feels. I of course did not play professional soccer. At the time, it wasn't really that, I won't say that big of a thing, but it in Oregon, it wasn't as big of a thing, I guess, or in my town. Because in my city, it was track and field. So you couldn't go pro in track and field. You had to keep your amateur status. And that, in fact, I still have my amateur status in track and field. I can go online and I can find it. One of those fun facts, as which I thought was hilarious when I was scrubbing the internet again. So, and as she said, it's a once in a lifetime feeling. And I can only imagine what it must have been like to be out on the pitch with those women. Just to know that she finally, not that she finally had that feeling. To me, I'm sure she finally had that feeling, but to me, it was finally everyone acknowledged the fact that this woman deserved to be there, which is what I've been saying all along. Yes, pat myself on the back, because it's all about me. It's not about Chai. It's not about Chai at all. It's all about me. No. She did all the work. She did everything that she needed to do to get where she wanted to be and to achieve her goal, pun intended. And the one clip that I'm going to try and drop in there, which I believe proves that she deserves to be there, is that the 5'3" defender got her head on the ball against 6-foot forwards to knock it out of the box and away from their goalie, away from her goalie, the San Diego Waves. And that is something that she can just look on and be proud of, to know. I mean, that wasn't the only thing that happened, but I only had 15 minutes of highlights, so I couldn't see everything. But I'm coming out there to see you, baby. I mean, you're in San Diego. Come on. I mean, I can't give that up. I'm just hoping that when I get out there to see you, you will be playing, and I can get firsthand highlights from you there, and it will be awesome. But you deserved everything. And obviously, and the Olympics are coming up, they will be polling women again. So even if it's just because, they needed extra players this year, you still have another year to show them all that you have. Because now, as you said in here, it's a whole different level. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling going, from, elementary school to junior high to high school to college. And you can just keep going, and you're just like, oh my God, I didn't know that it just kept getting worse and worse. And you're like on the top of the heap, and then all of a sudden you're not anymore, and then you got to fight to get back up there. But you have got this. I am the one person who has never doubted it. Well, besides you and your partner and your family and the Oregon Ducks and your coach Cram Mabel and everyone else. But I am one of the ones that has never doubted it for a second. For 1 second. Just so you know. Okay. On to bigger and better things. My husband and I, of course, we were talking about the post office. Not as much, because, of course, OSHA's kind of taken over this. But he had a really good theory about military and the types of military people that end up in the post office. Now I'm going to do my whole another one of these on that theory. I doubt that I'll get him on here to talk about his theory. But yeah, it's a really interesting theory. And I kind of was thinking the same thing along those same lines. It's kind of the way I was thinking about, veteran status, So yeah, we're going to talk about that too. And of course, I've got the whole long video that we're creating on Adobe Premiere that I just haven't had time for because it was Amazon Prime day or days or week or whatever, but it was only 2 days. And so I ordered things to upgrade my podcast office. Yes, I did. But some of the things apparently are backed up. Now, Amazon, I'm not quite sure why. Because Amazon, this is what you're supposed to do, right? We don't have overnight shipping. We don't have 2-day free shipping anymore because you can't get anything anymore. You all just you say you'll give us 2-day free shipping, but it never gets here in 2 days. You just say, oops, it's going to take longer. And we're like, isn't that what we are paying for? Or is it taking longer because of Aspen and the fact that they can't get their heads out of their asses and deliver their mail? I mean, although I do live in Colorado Springs, so we deliver Amazon packages on Sunday. But I have seen, and there is an infamous picture of the Peyton post office with Amazon packages just thrown everywhere in the snow, in the mail, and garbage cans overflowing with packages. Last Christmas is very interesting, and y'all should just, Google it if you want to have some fun. Because there's all sorts of fun to be had if you want to know what's truly going on in the post office. Beyond what I have to say. Now on to Pelly. Yes. What we have found out, besides the fact of which our great European vacation, which is no longer a European vacation, it's just now 10 days in Paris or France because I guess Josh doesn't want to be away from the cats, and Rebecca can probably take off work, but maybe not. and Brandy can, but she doesn't know. And we've got a bazillion people, and it looks like I'm the only one that can take off as much time off work as I want to, because I was actually accepted into an elite program at Denver University. So I will be starting that in December because I love going to school so much and no one can understand why, but I will keep going to school forever and ever if I can. And if my husband will keep paying for it. Oh no, I know. He doesn't watch my podcast, so it doesn't really matter unless he has to help me with something. So yeah. So what I'm going to tell people, if you're going to the Olympics, is you're not going to get a cheaper fare if you buy round trip. So what you need to do is buy your one way the minute you can. Fares aren't going to go down. They aren't going down. I mean, they had an increase in tourism unlike anything they have ever seen this summer. And there weren't any Olympics going on. Or maybe that's why they did. I have to think about that one. Anyways, so buy your one-way tickets for you or your family or whomever's going, like me and the old women who lived in a shoe and had so many children and friends and family and everyone that's going with them. And then buy your return, particularly if you want to travel, because then you can just buy your return from wherever you end up at and you don't have to worry about it, right? So that's what I would suggest. And the most important piece of advice I'm going to give you regarding Paris is everyone wants to go to Disneyland Paris. Okay, now the problem with that is that Disneyland Paris only sells so many tickets for a day, and they only sell them so far out. So, unless you're willing to pay some tourist company, one of your children, so the rest of your children can go to Disneyland Paris, you're going to have to stay up all night to try and get 1 or 2 days or 3 or 4 or whatever days of tickets to go to Disneyland Paris. Now, they are not going on sale yet for anywhere near the time frame that we all will be traveling to Paris for the Olympics. The other thing I would suggest is you don't have to stay at one of their hotels. When we lived overseas, they were starting to build condominiums, and they were basically like a timeshare type thing. Well, it exploded, and you can actually catch the RER and go from the condos and take a short train right to Disneyland Paris from your condo. And particularly when it comes to me and the 300 people I'm dragging with me to Paris, it's much easier than trying to do, because as I've said before, Europe, it's very difficult. Now, I've noticed some places, I guess I should finish the thought. In Europe, it's very difficult to find places that have more than 3 beds. You can, I've noticed, there are some places where you can find some hotels where you might be able to find 4 beds. But it's not easy. And I really want to emphasize easy. It's not. Even 3 beds, particularly with the Olympics, are selling out very, very quickly. I mean, even the VRBOs and Airbnb, which is just the cheap version of VRBOs, are being sponsored, are a sponsor of the Paris Olympics. So I've seen people that are a little skittish about Airbnbs or renting a VRBO during the Olympics. I'm a little more trusting because of that affiliation, but it's France. And they kind of do things differently. I'm only hoping that they don't find something weird to riot about. Now, I shouldn't say weird because the police shooting that kid was horrific. But, like the trash people decide they don't want to pick up trash. Or what was the last one that they were striking over? The minimum age of retirement that was going to go up. And honestly, I don't blame them. But my husband, I don't have to worry about that because we already have retired, got bored, and went back to work. So, but we're still young, so it's really not that big of a deal. I guess we're lucky in that aspect to be able to retire in your 50s and then get bored and go back to work. I mean, my grandparents did it. Then not the go back to work part. Well, kind of, but they didn't really work. They just, never mind. So that's kind of just the way France has been and how volatile it is right now. I don't know that bringing in a new president is going to make it any better. It seems like it does for a little bit, and then they get restless and then it starts over again. So I guess we'll see. I would like to see him stay president if he stops going behind our back and trying to negotiate some ungodly deal with the Russians through the Olympics. So maybe there's some continuity and life's good and we can all enjoy the Olympics in peace, although I doubt that it's going to be peaceful. Although they are beefing up security, but that's okay because, yeah, Green Beret Delta wife right here. Yeah, I got my OPSEC on. It's on point. Yes, it is. So I think me and my family, we're going to be okay. And anyone else around us, we're going to be okay. But that depends on a lot of different factors. I guess we'll wait and see. It's not getting too far off. It's we're getting down to the wire just a little over a year, and I know it's going to go so quickly, particularly once I start this class. So there are other things I wanted to say about France. The museum passes are back in stock online. So you can download them directly to your phone, or you can print them up in paper form. If you print them up in paper form, I would suggest trying to laminate them. I would think that they could still scan them even if they're laminated, probably a very thin lamination. And if I were to do that, I would laminate them and print up just a plain paper copy, just in case, because you just don't ever know what might work and what might not. And metro tickets, I am trying to find metro passes for a week. I have not been able to come across those. I have found them before. As soon as I can, I will let you know. They're much more convenient than the pack of 10 where you have to keep feeding them through each time you go somewhere. And the Paris metro is very, very easy to navigate. Much easier than the one in Athens, which is not easy unless you speak Greek. Literally, not figuratively. So you should be perfectly fine. Now, I would not count on buses as far as trying to get you to where you need to go to an Olympic event on time. That's just me. I'm not saying you couldn't or you shouldn't. That's my personal preference. And that is solely based on the fact that I've waited for more than one metro to show up underground, and it has never arrived. In fact, I would still be in Paris probably if I was waiting for some of them. So you want to be careful when it comes to that. Now, I have heard that they are going to be providing additional trains and flights back and forth to different cities where they're having different events. For instance, we have tickets to go see the women's semis football match and sailing in Marseille. And we can either take the train or a flight. Now, because I came up with a surprise for part of my family and some friends that want to go see something, we cannot take them to Monaco. But they can go. I have athletics that I see, which is track and field, the next morning. And the football/soccer ends at like midnight the one night, and the track and field starts at 10 a.m. the next morning. Yeah, because you're sleep deprived and you're trying to buy these packet of tickets before they sell out because it's just a shit storm. And we thought it was going to be so easy. Hopefully Australia will be better. I don't think my husband realizes we're going to that one, but I haven't been to Australia. He has, and I really want to go snorkeling. So, my barrier reef, and I'm really missing my warm weather vacation this year. like, like go on this cruise right now. If I leave, I can go. And he just rolled his eyes on me. So, yeah. And later I will tell you something funny he did to me. That'll be in a short. So, everyone, go to the San Diego Waves. Cheer on Chai Cortez, new up and coming star in professional women's soccer. I called it. I did call it. And I'm never wrong. Yep, I said it. So I'm so excited for her. I just, yes, I could not be prouder of her if I was her mom. So I can't wait to see what the new Oregon Ducks are going to look like. I mean, they aren't new, but the new formation of the Oregon Ducks are going to look like. It's going to be an interesting season, and I've got my trips planned out, and Oregon football is the same way. Yes, my soon to be nephew in law became a Twitter meme this last week because nothing says idiot bigger than my brother. Sibling rivalry at its finest. All I can say is I thank my lucky stars that the football star my daughter ended up with would never have lowered himself to that. Thank God. So here's to Twitter memes, I guess. I mean, I'll make fun of myself, but, I'm not going to do it for $100. I will draw the line. There is a definite line in the sand. So, anyways, that's all for tonight. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon so that I can tell you our theory on why so many military members end up in the post office and why true veterans are like my husband's and how they relate to American Sniper. How's that for a cliffhanger? Bye.